Hello, my friends. I thought that I would bring you along today for a few things that I'm working on. We have some Valentine's Day orders, a birthday shirt, some other fun projects that are going on here. So nothing is ever the same. Every single day is different, and I think that's a wonderful thing because that is how I like to operate. Without putting it off anymore, we will get started. Yes, I am wearing a tool belt. This thing is imperative for me because it has all the pockets. I hold all my scissors and even my phone and all of the things. Okay, first thing I'm going to work on today, which I already started prepping, is a shirt for a little guy for Valentine's Day. So this is going to have a sketch file or a sketch design, meaning that it's not fabric, it's like completely stitched. And this is it's going to be like a little choo-choo train with some hearts and then his name over the top. I have already prepped the shirt, which means that I have ironed on some fusible no-show. So fusible no-show is a wonderful thing. It is a stabilizer, a cutaway stabilizer iron-on. So you can kind of see, it looks like it's shiny or kind of wet maybe. The glue that is heat bonded by your iron. So you want to put the shiny side down when you flip your garment out, inside out. Put that shiny side down and then you press over it, assuming inside out, obviously. And then what I do is I flip it back right side out and I put some painter's tape on. I find that painter's tape works better, for me at least. So I just like set it up, line it up how I think, eyeball it, make sure it's straight. There are rulers that you can get, and this kind of ruler I use more for logo placement because you line it up with like the size of the shirt in the middle, and then it tells you where to put the logo. You can use these for little kids' shirts too, but I just find that eyeballing it sometimes makes a difference for me. So that's how I do it, and it's worked well so far. Okay. So now I'm going to put some peel and stick stabilizer. Peel and stick stabilizer is a tearaway stabilizer. This feels like paper, but it has like a sticker back to it. So that's hence the name peel and stick. I'm going to get my 8x8 fast frame. So I like to use fast frames. I like to float most of my stuff. If I can, I like to do it that way. My machines did come with your traditional hoops where you put the garment between it and you tighten it and all of that. But I just find that floating, it's easier to reposition. And I feel like my room for error is lower. So I'll peel off the back. I'm just putting it onto the frame, just like this. And then I like to tear off the extra just because then it won't get in the way of the shirt. Now this shirt is a 2T, so that means that it will fit fine on this. If you have anything less than, 12 months is a stretch, but like really anything less than 9 months, if anything 9 months or less or 12 months or less, then I would use a smaller frame because this one might like stretch the garment and then it's going to distort like your design. So you don't want that. I'm going to load this onto the machine and then I'm going to place the shirt and I'm going to take you with me. So the design that I'm doing is multicolor. So I'm using my multi-needle machine and hello. And so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to pull you over here. I have it on a USB. So I'll just go here, flash drive. I'm going to set, rotate, because it's going to be upside down while it's stitching. So I'm going to stitch it upside down because you'll see when I put the shirt on what I mean by that. Now I'm going to get the shirt. I'm going to slide this on here. Just like that. And the peel and stick stabilizer is vital to floating a garment because it is going to hold it for you. So some people see, and it's so easy to just like realign it, readjust it, make sure it's as straight as it can be and how I want it exactly. Now some people use clips in addition to the peel and stick stabilizer, which is not a bad idea. I am making sure that the shirt is under the bar down here, because if it's not, then it's gonna just stitch to itself, which is not what we want. So everything feels good. Everything looks mostly straight. Now I'm going to make sure that I have the placement that I want. So I'm just going to use these little arrows. The one that has 3 arrows, 3 triangles, I'll show you. 3 triangles is a little bit aggressive. So sometimes I'll do the one with 2 and you'll see the difference. So this is the one with 2 triangles. It just kind of jumps a little bit. This one actually like moves. In this situation, I do want to move a little higher, just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this button that's a square, and it's like dotted lines going around a square. Now that is going to show me placement. So I'm actually going to move it down just a little bit because it doesn't need to be like right at his neck. But I also don't want there to be like too much space because you don't want it to be on his tummy. But it does look like it is straight, which is a wonderful thing. Now the machine is going to want me to decide on the colors. I've already got the colors loaded on this one, and I want to make sure that it knows that we're all on the same page here. So I have to switch a few up. So I'm going to say close. And then this button helps me change colors, like from what it has versus what I have. For 1, I have a light pink, so I'm going to switch these 2, 1 and 4. And then for 2, I actually have red, so I'm going to switch that. So now I've got pink, red. For 3, I have gray, so I'm going to switch those 2. Now I have the gray, so I have pink, red, gray, white, and these 2 are different. So I'm not running a brown right now, but I don't need it, so I'm going to switch that. So I have my light blue in 6, and so now I've got pink, red, gray, white, and blue, all in the places that I want them. And now I'm going to remove the tape because I know that it's where I want it to be. Just hold on to your article of clothing while you do that, so it doesn't shift. Smooth out any bumps or anything. I toss away my tape, and then I'm actually going to put these clamp clips onto my frame. These for me just prevent it from jumping and bumping, and I think that that is helpful to put. I also have some smaller little clips that I'll show you, and I got just all of these from Walmart, but these are also helpful just to make sure it's like smooth. But sometimes what can happen is if it pinches too close, then the garment can get trapped under there, and that's something that you want to avoid. So I think we're good here. So we are going to lock and start. Get some things out of the way. I think there's just an extra. Yep. Keep on keeping on. Okay, so here it says check upper and bobbin thread. So what happened was the red thread came out of the needle, so I just need to restring it. That can also happen if my bobbin has run out, so I'm going to check that while I'm stopped anyway. So these machines have an auto threader, but as long as I'm able to see it and like thread it myself, that's what I do. Okay, so my bobbin is still good. I still have some, as you can see, in there, so that's not the problem. Stick back the bobbin, and then I'm going to actually show you what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to clear this out and say close, and then I'm going to click this button with a needle and a plus and minus, and I'm going to bump back 20 stitches, and then lock and start from there. I'll show you what it does, because that way I can make sure that I didn't miss anything. I'm going to trim this so it doesn't get caught up in there, and continue on. So now it's caught, it's catching, which tells me that we're good. Okay, so same thing for this one. It says check upper and bobbin thread. So it looks like the thread came out of the needle again, so I'm gonna re-string it. And we should be good to go. And this is the final step for this shirt. Just stitching on his little name, which is so cute. Again, I know that I could use the threader, but I'm just doing it my way, so. Okay. There we go. All these fun faces. So again, I'm gonna back it up, maybe not to 10 this time though, or to 20, because this one, I don't want it to go too far back. I can see the holes. Okay, start there, and start. Okay, just gonna trim that, get it out of the way. I'm gonna keep on rolling. Okay, so now it's finished. I'm gonna say okay, and then I'm gonna take off these clamps and clips. And then I'm going to peel it off of the frame. I'm gonna walk it over to the table. Okay, so we have our shirt, and it's got that peel and stick on it. And I'm just gonna tear it off. So the best way to get peel and stick off, I find that if you just do like a really quick pull like that, like ripping a Band-Aid off, that helps. So I just clean up as much as I can. In this kind of design, there will still be like some within the stitching because like I said, it's a sketch file, not a applique or like a thick satin monogram. I'm going to trim the, see if there's any threads that need to be trimmed up first. So the name looks like it's stitched and cut itself. There's one thread here that I can cut, and everything else looks awesome, which is wonderful. When I do a sketch design, I'm looking for any like space between anywhere. There, I'm just gonna show you because I'm all about being real here. This is actually the second time I've done this shirt because accidents happen, mistakes are made. I was just unhappy with the way that it came out the first time, so I'm gonna show you what it looks like. And what happened, fun story, is that I was working on something else before I put this shirt on the machine. There was like a malfunction. I'll just show it to you. Okay, what was happening was this, whatever this thing is called, which I couldn't find the name, the needle goes inside that little hole and it was hitting against this part. So that was causing all kinds of problems, which was really frustrating for me. And I was getting very annoyed. But for the most part, once I fixed it, and one day I'll show you how I did that, but for the most part, the shirt looked fine. So I was like, okay, this is fine. But then after I looked at it some more, I was like, I don't like it. So I'm gonna show you the difference. Now this, do you see how there's space here? That's what I'm talking about, when there's space here, and then the name just looks kind of sloppy. There were some other areas of concern, but I was just like, I'm unhappy with this. The difference too, the name kind of like overlaps the red here, but then like the last part of the name is sitting up on the red. This was after I fixed it, before and after. And so it was only that one needle, it was only that one color. See how much better this looks? All of the letters are sitting on, like right above the red over there, and then there's no spaces within the stitching. So another thing to be aware of is if you are resizing a design, the sketch design specifically can become distorted if you do that by like too much of a margin. So a little bit of resizing is generally okay, but I mean the smallest amount possible is what we're wanting to, you know, to do versus a big resize. And usually files come, if you're buying them off Etsy or from a designer, they come in multiple sizes, so you should be able to find and get what you want. Okay, so now I have turned it inside out and I have loosened the fusible no-show from the garment where it wasn't stitched, and I'm just cutting away, being as careful as I can. I'm gonna turn you down this way so you can see better. So what I do, because I have nicked too many things, is I look where the fusible is touching the garment, and I'm not pulling it away. Like, I'm still leaving like a little bit of a bumper here, so then I can see exactly where the garment is. I can feel the design on the other side. I'm not cutting through anything because, like I said, it is far too easy to make that mistake. And then this like beautiful little outfit that you've just made is ruined because you can't patch a hole like that. Okay, final part, just like that. And then I'll throw that out. I will say that piece of fusible no-show that I used was a bit aggressive for this small design. So you can certainly like cut from a big piece, smaller pieces, especially if you know exactly how your design is gonna go. So that way you can waste less. Now that it's still inside out, I'm gonna turn you back down again so you can see. Now that it's still inside out, I am going to wake up my iron, and I'm gonna get some cloud cover, also called Tender Touch, and this stuff is the best. I just buy it off of Amazon. I think the brand is Super Punch. I can link it because I love this stuff. It is rough on one side because, again, it has this like heat activated glue, and on the other side it's very soft. And what the point is, you don't have to use this stuff, but especially for these sketch designs, the stitches are pretty aggravating, and especially if this is gonna go straight onto the skin, which, you know, most kids aren't wearing any like undergarments to speak of, so it's worthwhile to put that on there, in my opinion. Makes it not as rough or itchy. And this stuff you just kind of press, like push down. My iron isn't completely heated yet, but it's hot enough that it's not gonna, yeah, it's staying. There it goes. You don't want to do it too long, but it doesn't really matter how it looks. It doesn't have to be straight. Also, I think that people say that even if there's like jaggedy border, that it actually tends to stick on better. So maybe if you have pinking shears or you cut it crooked, don't worry, it doesn't matter, and nobody sees that anyway. Over time, I have noticed that the cloud cover will come off, and like with washing, but by then the stitches are usually softer. And if I ever have a customer who's like, hey, this came off and, you know, it's still kind of itchy, like, I'm happy to put it back on. The other thing is anybody can buy this stuff. So like if you have anything that's itchy at home, any kind of garment that just rubs wrong or whatever, you can buy the stuff yourself and apply it on, and it just covers that, but like makes it more comfortable. So anyway, I have finished the Jackson shirt. It is so very cute. The design is not too low, but it's also not too high. It's gonna sit right where I want it, right across his little chest, and I think he is gonna look so cute come Valentine's Day. So there's that one. I'm going to put it in a bag. I'm going to snap a picture, put it in a bag, and let my customer know that it's ready.